The path that Trascalia outlines for you goes through a door, about 2-hour upstairs journey from the Planeswalkers Guild. That goes to the base of a ruined tower. I better open some Planescape books over here so I know exactly where you're going. It goes to the base of a ruined tower. It says, towers within eye shot of the river. Find an oarsman to take you downstream. I need to go to Fantasy Name Generator too. Place names. Hotel. Yeah, we'll go to the hotel. There's a hotel name here. Nice. Tell the oarsman you want to go to Korlak Keep. Along the way, once departing the Marenloth's charge, you'll want to find a 3-pronged leaf. Black, not green, and be sure, because there's very little light, and you may confuse the two. Mm-hmm. Take that 3-pronged leaf to Korlak Keep. Avoid being seen, and the door to the kennel at the northwest corner will take you back to Sigil. It's a road that I have used once or twice, with very few scratches.
Let me read over my note here to make sure I got this accurately.
Okay.
We need a 3-pronged leaf, black, not green. Take that to Korlak Keep without being seen. Did he say where we could find a 3-pronged leaf?
He said cut one from the foliage after you leave the river.
Okay.
Where do we need the river to bring us?
What'd you say?
Will they just know?
Oh, if
yeah,
you tell
do
him,
we know where
if you
to
tell him,
get off the river?
If you tell him Korlak Keep, he'll know where to take you.
Okay, so we tell the oarsman that.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Got it.
Something changed when Windows 10 updated. Now it wants me to open all my PDFs in Microsoft Edge. I'd like to tell Microsoft where they can stick their Edge.
Wow, way to be a Microsoft edgelord.
That was good. I like that. Good times. So now I've got to go to open with Adobe Reader. Like a butt-tard. And bear with me just 1 second.
Well, clearly Edge would be wonderful if you gave it a chance, and so Microsoft is going to make you try to get you to take a chance every single time you try to.
They're going to ask me again every single time. I could just go in and tell it to associate PDFs with Reader again, but then I'm going to have to do that every single time Windows updates, I'm sure.
It's going to be passive-aggressive about it.
But he did caution you to get a good night's sleep and a belly full of food before leaving.
Yep. Probably what we should do.
I mean, we're not really on the clock anymore, so no reason not to.
If that's what he says, then I guess we'll do it, but Riot's not too thrilled about this.
Okay, so...
Riot hates food.
Can we stay at the gift for free?
Can you stay where for free?
At the guild?
Oh yeah, no, they're not going to charge you just for setting up a camp. That's kind of what they're there for. Thrain would probably supply you with food and commodities for your journey, seeing as how you've done him a great favor recently. So it's not going to cost you anything to get a good night's sleep and a belly full of food.
Happy to accept.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. What's the food like?
Wide varieties of food. As many varieties of food as there are of people.
That's what I was thinking.
if I had to make a quick comparison, it would be like picture like carny food, okay? Like you go to the carnival, and it's good while you're eating it. Like you get the big old turkey leg, right? But it's not gourmet food. It's just...
Do they have any, like, Bitope Mount Celestia fusion food?
They declare you a hipster, and...
Wow.
Is that what you're looking? Is that what Mahogany's looking for?
Mahogany will eat whatever.
Okay. You find
Now that
copious
she's
amounts of
mentioned
whatever.
That's what Serenity's looking for.
No. Just by getting Trescalia back alive, you all have made some friends amongst the Planeswalkers Guild. But as word spreads through the guild of Gerzog's continued presence, there is some like trepidation in the air. There is a little bit of tension you can feel, because they know that a battle is coming in the future, and it's probably not going to be swift or decisive.
Riot's gonna go and see if she can find some people making some soup. She wants to get some good soup here.
Oh yeah, you find just about any kind of soup you can name. Soup made with vegetables, soup made with any kind of meat, soup made with God knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially just a matter of hitching yourself to one of the groups of adventurers that is kicked up here for a minute, and they're happy to share what they have.
Yeah.
So everybody take the benefit of the long rests.
Ooh, get my
Alright.
hit dice back.
Nice.
How much time do we have here?
You can stay as long as you want.
Well, I mean, how much time until night?
There's not day or night on the staircase. You sleep for about 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no sun or moon here.
Does it seem like that's what everyone does, or is there like some kind of sleeping schedule that people tend to follow?
People sleep when it suits them. In standard human biology, you tend to have to sleep 8 hours every 24-hour cycle. That's true whether there's a sun or a moon or not. But yeah, the typical... there's not really a schedule here. There's not really a day or night cycle as far as behaviors or routines. Because people are also always coming and going. There's always a little bit of life and a little bit of rest happening at the guild here. So how long do you guys stay before heading out?
Probably
As little
as
time
long
as possible.
yeah.
Do you take any kind of special provisions with you when you go?
Probably just load up on rations at the moment.
Okay.
I want to see if anyone could draw me a picture of that leaf.
And make sure I have enough water.
If you provide the Tiefling with parchment and a charcoal stick, he can sketch it out for you.
Oh yeah, I absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of three-pronged leaves out there.
The one he's sketching you is not any kind of plant you've ever seen. He tells you the shape is unmistakable. It's the color you have to watch out for. And don't carry too many of them. That's free advice from me to you.
What happens if you carry too many of them?
He says, I don't know. I was warned not to do so, and so did not do it. I'm simply passing along the warning.
That's smart thinking.
Something bad, no doubt.
Mahogany, do you ever get the feeling that someone maybe just makes up some of these warnings just to see people will listen to them? Warnings makes like an air quote promotion.
I tried doing that a couple times, and it didn't turn out well, so I stopped.
So after you all wake up, have some breakfast, and head along the route that... I already forgot the Tiefling's name.
Carrot.
Carrot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you head out along the route that Carrot lined out for you.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning before you leave, it's very clear that he used your gold to get into his cups. He is red-nosed and very friendly the next time you see him. Which explains why he gave you some free advice.
It makes him happy.
And sure enough, after about 2.5 hours of very arduous upstairs travel, you find the door that he told you would go to a ruined tower.
I'll crack it open, look through.
And on the other side, you see, well, the base of a ruined tower, just a pillar of stones with a doorway still left in it. Mm-hmm. And not a mote of color in any direction as far as the eye can see.
I'll turn to
Where the
Riot
hell are we?
and say, how do flames look?
We haven't stepped through the door yet.
No, you're just looking through it. And you do not see the
I'll
river on
talk-
the horizon you're looking at.
I'm gonna throw a flame through the door.
Okay. Let me see what happens.
The entire plane explodes.
You produce flame and fling it through the door, and it passes the plane of the door, and it still looks like a flame when it gives you the effect of throwing to the place where you targeted it, causing a small explosion there, and then bursting into a coil of smoke. But as soon as the flame passes the door, it ceases to flare with oranges and reds and just looks shades of gray. It's still clearly burning very hot. It still explodes exactly as you'd expect. It still coils off in the smoke. But the smoke, also, you look at it, it's not black smoke. It looks like white coils of smoke coming off of the place where it landed.
Well, luckily we're looking for a black leaf, so we should be fine, right?
Hope so.
Okay, so what's next?
Going through.
Yep, Serenity will go through the door as well.
Okay. Everybody who's going through the door makes me a Wisdom 10 saving throw.
Alright. Let's see.
Welcome to Planescape, assholes.
Welcome to Planescape.
I think the players all know where we are.
I should hope so.
I failed that one.
Failed that one.
I'm past that one.
I passed.
Did anybody
Serenity passes.
pass it without cheating?
I passed it with great vigor.
I got a 17.
Okay.
I rolled a 10 on die.
Okay, good.
Plus 3 is 13.
Riot, you have disadvantage on all ability checks. Not attack rolls, not saves. Ability checks.
Gotcha.
As soon as you step through the door, you all look down, you see the color drain out of your clothes. You don't look grayscale the way the rest of the place looks. Just knowing the plane by reputation, you know you've stepped onto the gray waste, which is also known as Hades. Everything on the plane is gray. Some shade of gray. There's no black and no white. Everything in between. Looking down at your clothes, at your bodies, you still have color, but it's very clearly muted. It's like
Muted.
somebody turned down the saturation channels on your Photoshop pixel art.
Yeah.
Except
I'm gonna
for
try
I have less color than
except for Riot. Looking down at Riot, where she usually has bright red fur running along her legs, it looks stark white when she steps through. And Riot, you feel your head swimming for a moment, and this just sense of hopelessness for a second weighs very deeply on you. And you kind of shake it off, but then it manifests as a headache, which sits in the back of your skull as a distraction. And looking around, you don't see the sense of this place at all. It suddenly doesn't strike you as a very useful idea that you came here. So stepping through the door, the base of this wooden tower, I guess I can load up this new image now. This Eberron image that I'll be using.
Sweet.
I should load it into Photoshop and save it as grayscale, but I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'll just load it up. Because it looks like it came up on a search for the Grey Waste, so... It looks like the Grey Waste to me. Looks pretty wasteful.
How many skulls do we see on the floor?
You see 0 skulls. Well, no, you see a couple of skulls. The place where you step into...
This sucks.
At one point would have been maybe a small store tower, maybe the corner of a keep or some such. The door you came through looks to be in good repair. The base of the tower you step into, there's no tower left. It's just part of a wall with a door looking off into the distance where you see hills and a copse of forest out on the horizon. Looking back the other direction, you do see the river before the horizon. But you get a couple of skulls, cracked bones, and dead things in the dust at your feet on the stone floor. The door itself looks to be in good repair. Gray wood, strong gray hinges. Somebody uses this door.
Alright, well, let's get going.
Yeah, Riot has
Not
never
stay
wanted
here
to
any
go
longer
home
than we have to.
Yeah.
ever more than she does right now.
So heading for the river. The wastes are not desolate. As you're heading for the river, which is kind of a downhill journey, it looks like you should reach it maybe within a few minutes. Unfortunately, after you set out, that seems to not be the case anymore. You walk, and the tower you left gets further away, but the river does not seem to get any closer. And after a couple hours of walking in such a way, you see what looks like a caravan that's traveling on your side of the river, kind of parallel to it. It's, from this distance, first of all, it's lit here. You have lights. You're not sure what in the sky is lighting it, but you have enough light to see by. It's not dim light. It's very gray and colorless, and it kind of only half-heartedly casts shadows. Even the shadows here are not particularly dark. But you can see, which is why you can see the distance. But it looks to be some kind of carriage or wagon being pulled by who knows what. And then behind it you see a couple of figures traveling with it.
Mahogany respects the purity of this plane.
So what's next?
I don't see any reason why we should just keep going. That's what we were told to do, right?
If you stay on the path you're on, you will intercept this caravan. Is that what you want?
It's probably going the same place as us.
Yeah.
It's very pointedly not going the same place as you. It's traveling
Oh, okay.
parallel to the river. You have to go. The river is your destination right now.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it's not traveling to the river.
it's fine. I mean,
Okay. Let me get a new NPC sheet going here. This is session 7 already. Wow.
Yep.
I didn't plan anything because I was expecting you all to wipe on the demon within 10 minutes.
you didn't expect us to book it?
Clearly, he doesn't know us that well.
No, I actually didn't plan much because I just didn't have a lot of time to do planning this week.
I feel like this party exudes a sense of that's not my problem.
Yeah, I was thinking it the entire conversation with Thrain when he's talking about, oh well, that thing's still around and it's still a threat to the staircase, and Riot's just the entire time like, yeah. How do we get on?
So nobody's getting the blip for heroism. By the way, speaking of blips, I did not post the straw poll link yet in the chat. Hi, chat. At the end of the session, we give bonus experience for a variety of issues. One of the bonus experience blips I give is decided by chat. So there's the straw poll. Vote for your favorite player character in this session. But you only get to vote once. So if you vote early and then later on someone else does something really awesome, your vote is wasted. Unless you have multiple computers, I guess. Okay. I need to take about 60 seconds and create this character real quick.
Okay.
What kind of half-orc name does he have?
It's a she. You shitlord.
What kind of half-orc name does she have?
A really, really twee one.
Wee one?
Twee.
Wee?
Twee.
So that's what you're going with? That's what you're going for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also the half elf, half orc.
I feel like I don't use half orcs enough. Does anybody else get that feeling? Like, should I use half orcs more? I don't know.
You mean after I eliminated them from my homebrew settings, just use full-blown orc all the time? Yeah, maybe a little.
Okay.
Wait, what was the reasoning for that? Alright, no.
We'll get into that later.
Continue to travel downhill. And as you get into... I better get the monster manual here, just in case. As you get into communication distance with the caravan, you see that it stops. And you see a flurry of activity as the men who are traveling behind it, looks like they're setting something up. They're getting like furniture and decoration out of the caravan and setting it up in place. And as you get closer, you realize what they're setting up is essentially a storefront. They have set up a some kind of lightweight bench or table, over which they have thrown this brilliant royal purple cloth.
And it's actually purple, not
It's
muted colors.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most vivid thing you've seen since you stepped foot on the plane.
That's impressive.
And then a large crystal orb is set in the center of it. And as you're getting closer, you now realize that these, what you were thinking were men, are not men at all, but undead creatures with heavy chains around their neck, chaining them to the back of this carriage. Likewise, the creatures pulling the carriage along look like they might have been pack animals in life, but they are also undead. Just either draft horses or something similar. I decided to name this character after one of my favorite perler colors. Okay.
After your favorite what?
So,
Colors? Oh.
making to approach the carriage. The carriage itself is gray, and so are everything else except this brilliant purple cloth. And this translucent glass orb now sitting there. And as you get close enough to be in conversation distance, a night hag steps out from the carriage. And she's wearing blood-red robes with purple and green adornments. Jewelry. She has drapes of cloth hanging over the curled horns coming off of her head, which are thrown over her neck, kind of like a shawl. She has a great leather belt around her waist, from which hangs a variety of vials, potions, and at least one skull, because why not? And she's rubbing her hands together and looking at you as you approach. And she steps behind the bench that has been set out. And she greets you all very warmly to the residents of Pearl Silver.
We're not residents, we're just passing through.
No, you've arrived at the residence of Pearl Silver.
Oh.
She is Pearl Silver, and this is her residence.
Pearl Silver, huh?
The whole caravan is where you live?
Well, it's just the one carriage.
Right.
And she says it provides her with all she needs. And then she asks to Riot. She says, "At what great distance do you need to look today? Where can I take you?"
Fortunately, I think we're going right about over there.
Well, we're just on our way to Styx.
She motions to the river behind her and says, "You seek a new life, a fresh start, to jump into the Styx. But I warn you, no one else will forget you. Those who hunt you will continue to hunt you, and those you are indebted to will continue to seek their debts."
No, we're going down the river.
Well, that is a very foolish thing to do.
We heard there was a ferry coming through here.
And she nods. And then you see her face brighten up a little bit as she realizes. She says, "Ah, this is your first time in the wastes. Your first time for the river Styx." And she waits for some kind of acknowledgement.
I'll nod.
So you're a strange man. You wear a mask. What is it that you hide?
At You're a Strange Man, Mahogany looks around at the bone carriage.
Everyone is secret.
And your secret is your face? Were you born very ugly, my dear?
Well,
I have a
it's a matter
poultice
of
for
opinion.
that. And she pulls one of
No,
the...
thank you. I'm quite happy with the face I have at the moment.
Brick, does it look like she uses this poultice?
No, she's a night hag. She's ugly as sin. No,
But I'm still trying to be polite.
So now she asks Ciclon, she says, "And where would you like to look today? How far over the horizon must your eyes see?"
What was the name of that place that we had to come to? What else? I'll look to Riot because Nick's the one who took notes.
What was the question?
We're heading to the keep here.
Oh, right, the Korlak Keep.
Korlak Keep.
Her eyes get really wide for a moment. So you were foolish enough to step foot onto the wastes, and now you seek to enter the abyss.
Pack of fools, that's us.
Mahogady's thinking to himself, apparently we're foolish enough to be giving our business to everyone.
And she laughs a little bit rudely. And she says, "Well, Madame Pearl can help you on your way. If you require assistance. I don't commonly step down to give my aid to undeserving fools, but I am feeling charitable today."
Alright, then I have a question for you.
Very well.
And Wright kind of like motions around, vaguely indicating the entire Grey Waste. How do you tell black from green in this?
She says instinctively. It is something I'm sure you cannot do.
I don't think we need to, Riot.
You sure? Because we were given pretty clear directions. And I'm talking
Korlak
to...
Keep is after the ferry.
Ah.
Yeah, that'll actually be okay. Now it's starting to come together.
And then she addresses the two ciphers. "And would either of you like to look into the distance this day?"
What's to see there?
I prefer to look right in front of me.
She asks what's right in front of you. Surely not the river.
At this moment, it's Madame Pearlsilver.
She says, "Well, I will not impede your progress. There's no profit to be had from you. I seem to have wasted my time. And she snaps her fingers and says something in a lower planar language that none of you pick up. The skeleton men trundle back and begin packing up her accoutrements.
I'll take out a couple gold, and I'll give them to her. Thank you for your information, nonetheless.
Your time is much appreciated, at least.
And she curls her hand around it and smiles. And then enters back into her carriage.
Mahogany's hoping that will keep her from telling every single person around where we're going.
As the horses rear up and begin to take the carriage away, you hear her voice from inside and says, "Put the Tiefling on point. She's the only one of you with any hope of reaching the river Styx."
Cock my head at that.
And then Pearl Silver is gone from your
So
lives.
does Riot, for that matter.
No, Riot, to
Oh,
your
it's
ears,
Riot.
that sounds like incredibly bad advice. Because you
Yeah.
you couldn't care less if you ever reach the river Styx. So what's next?
Well,
Riot
I mean,
rubs her skull and waits for the rest of the people to come to a decision.
we paid for some advice. Might as well use it. Right, lead the way.
Alright, if I must.
Don't worry, we're right behind you.
Alright, and then Riot will begin walking off toward the river Styx, or so she assumes.
You know, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
And the journey becomes more rocky and mountainous as you are moving. And Riot, you're convinced it's just a trick of the light or a trick of the plane, but you see the river Styx in front of you kind of curling towards you. The way after thousands of years of erosion a river will change course. You seem to be watching that process in real time. So in your peripheral, to your left and right, off into the horizon, the Styx is not getting any closer, but right in front of you it seems like it's curling towards your group. But after another hour of travel or so, you see that your path will be taking you through a wood.
And does the river look like it's on the other side of the wood?
It does.
Have we lost track of the river?
No,
Okay.
the river is ever in the distance. It just seems
Yeah.
to be bending towards you now. But before you actually reach the river, this forest comes into view. So the question is, march through the forest or take a longer detour around it.
Right, may as well just go. The forest is as good as anything. Straight ahead seems like the best.
Well, Riot's leading the
best
way,
is the
so now we're all going to get eaten by whatever. Because she doesn't
I'm always a
fine.
fan of straight ahead.
It's fine, whatever.
I will be honest with you guys, you already avoided an encounter with Mind Flayers today, so you're already...
We're ahead of the game.
Yeah. I mean, avoiding the Mind Flayers was...
pretty good.
Was that what the mind probe was?
Yes. When Riot used Detect Thoughts in their keep, they immediately picked up on it and then were trying to find out what it was.
That's really good.
So good. Good thing we got the hell out of there.
Well, you tell me I just held a mind probe, and my first response is, all right, time to go.
Pretty much.
Alright, yeah, through the forest.
Okay.
I don't want to take a long way around anything. Not in the mood.
Not in the mood. You've been traveling long enough now since you've rested that everybody's going to have to expend resources to avoid becoming exhausted.
Okay, how does that work?
That means you mark off a ration and some water from your character sheet.
I don't have any
good.
rations.
You did. You
I
left.
have-
You left the Planeswalkers Guild with provisions.
Oh, okay.
But she just doesn't care.
She just doesn't want to care to eat.
So they gave them to me for free? Or did I have to pay for them?
You didn't have to pay for them because you had done a favor for Crane,
Gotcha.
and so he was.
Okay, cool.
He,
How many
yeah.
rations did we have?
I had 10 on me.
Yeah,
No,
originally had
before
10, I've
before
eaten
this
one.
thing.
you
Like
can
how many?
you can comfortably carry 10 days worth of food and water on you. So marking yourself up
Is
to
that
10
much?
would have been
Just assume-
reasonable.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
how much they would have been willing to part with.
I'll just assume we're at 9, and I'll start
Yeah, that's
keeping
where I'm at now.
a specific number that just says ration.
Works for me. Riot already has one level of exhaustion because she failed to save.
Right.
So before you reach the wood, you're going to need to break and eat.
Can we eat while we're going?
I will let everybody make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw if you're going to eat while moving to avoid getting a level of exhaustion.
But I think we all have to be in on it, and I'm not really too keen on that.
Yeah, that's assuming you guys don't want to split up.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to.
Oh,
I'd
I
prefer
don't-
not
yeah.
to split up. So
Yeah.
we can just stop.
All
and
right.
eat.
Well, let's just stop and eat.
Yeah.
Have we seen any of this plant that we're supposed to be picking up along the way?
You come across foliage as you go, but it doesn't look to be indigenous to the Grey Waste. It doesn't match the charcoal sketch that Mahogany has.
Okay. Okay.
To your eyes, it looks like the kind of shrubs and light foliage that you'd see in the scrublands of the Outlands, just devoid of color.
Mahogany seems to remember that we were supposed to get that after the ferry. Am I remembering that accurate?
You're remembering
Yeah,
that
it's a
accurately.
Wiz 10 or
yes.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
alright.
gonna-
Correct.
So
Yeah.
he's thinking that the ferry is going to bring us to another plane, and that's why we're going to be able to tell what the leaf is.
Mm.
If you guys want to avoid using your rations, you can use a survival check to forage for food and water as you go. That's up to you. You've been coming across wildlife, just standard animals. They look a little smaller and more sickly than you're used to, but you can still get a meal out of them, and of course they have no color. And there have also been ponds and pools here and there. Old desiccated wells that you've passed.
I mean, Serenity's pretty good at foraging, but she doesn't want to slow the rest of the group down right now. So until we're a lot lower on rations, she's not going to worry about it.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go
And
ahead and mark
Mahogany's not worried at all because if it comes to worst, he'll just make good berries for everyone.
Assuming that spell works here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And after another hour or two of travel, after you all have broken your fast, you end up at the outskirts of this forest that you'll have to march through. It doesn't look like a particularly scary or foreboding forest. Well, it's hard for me to give these descriptions because now I'm thinking how many of you have actually been in a forest? Probably just Serenity and Mahogany. Right?
I've been Arboreal.
We
Yeah,
were in a
Arboreal.
forest when we came.
Oh, you've been through the woods
Yeah,
and
we
the
all
gates.
came
Of the
through
It
first.
doesn't resemble that. It's much more thickly wooded than that. It also doesn't resemble the forests of Arborea you've seen, which are very vibrant, colorful, full of life. It looks like it's
It's a shitty forest.
it's a wood in a state of decay. But as you approach, you hear the sounds of wildlife inside.
What kind of wildlife?
Insects, primarily. Once in a great while, you'll hear what sounds like a very warped bird call from far off in the distance. You've come across quills, which are those disgusting porcupine monsters I showed you,
Mm-hmm.
in greater number than anything else as far as wildlife goes. No predators, no grazing animals either, just small creatures, rodents, quills, and insects. So, Riot, leading into the woods, you take 3 steps into the woods before you realize the ground at your feet is slurping. It's becoming more and more moist. Wet with something.
Are the tree roots thick enough that we can walk on that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and stick to the roots whenever possible instead of the soil.
Okay.
I'll follow suit when I see her doing that.
Okay. Easily enough. Going into the wood, though, you are now in dim light because the canopy is very thick overhead. The light source in this plane does come from the sky. It's not just ambient light the way it was, the way it is in Sigil.
Staircase.
Bless you. Light a torch, maybe?
Riot.
Mm-hmm.
You can make me an intelligence plus either nature or survival. Not intelligence, I'm sorry, wisdom, and either nature or survival. Your choice. Remember, you're making this at disadvantage.
I remember. That's why I've got the 2 dice out.
Ah.
Nature. Or I'm proficient in survival. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and make that survival then.
Okay.
I don't remember why I took that proficiency, but whatever.
You're paying a lot of attention traveling on the tree roots because the soil of the forest seems very loose and wet in spots. And as you go into the forest a little bit, it becomes much more swamp, marsh-like. But sticking to the roots of these trees, and even just the dry patches of ground, is not difficult. But you realize after maybe 20 minutes of travel into the woods, that you've been paying more attention to where you're putting your feet and not enough attention to where you're going. And you now realize you don't know what direction you're moving in.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not sure you should care.
Yeah, I don't say anything. I'm just kind of walking forward, whatever.
Okay.
I have a question before something terrible happens and it becomes far more relevant.
Yes, ma'am.
When I can breathe water,
Yes.
does the water have to have a certain level of clarity for me to do that?
And my read on the water genasi is that you can breathe in water the way sea life can. So any kind of water that sea life can exist in, you would be able to breathe in as well.
Do we have to worry
Okay.
about salt versus fresh water here?
No. You can breathe equally well in both. There are caveats, though, because there is quote-unquote water on some planes that will be dangerous for reasons other than not being able to breathe. For example, if your Styx boat gets attacked, don't jump in and be like, oh, I can breathe the Styx, you're fine. Because
Right.
Okay. Let's roll some initiative.
That seems fine.
Is this a check? Do I roll this at disadvantage?
You do, yes. It's a dexterity
Okay.
check.
Hey, I cheated. Nice, go me.
Oh, man. Way to throw away that 20.
Oh, you're gonna throw it away anyway because you're on disadvantage.
That's literally what I meant.
That's what...
Well, I mean, you it would have gone to waste anyway.
Don't like those names. Throwing that out there.
Alright, let me get Notepad open here.
Probably need a D8. I'll definitely need D4s.
To 4.
I need a couple more pips. There we go.
And let me check passive perception.
I think the funniest thing about the most preposterous restriction is that I can't transform into things with a swim speed, but I have a swim speed.
Depending, because you're a water genasi, depending on what the swim speed is, we might as well... I was about to say you could transform into things that don't have a swim speed faster than you, but that would still give you certain advantages they might not want you to have. I don't know, I'd have to make a case-by-case ruling, I think, depending on what you want to turn into.
Yeah.
Because that sounds ridiculous on its face, but at the same time, you guys fought a giant shark once. So... okay, Sue. Riot, what is your initiative?
14.
14.
Popular number.
It's pretty
And
popular.
Ciclone.
Ciclone acts on Where'd the initiative bonus go on the damn? 22.
22.
Yep.
And Serenity.
Serenity X at 17.
17. And Mahogany.
14.
Okay, Serenity and Mahogany and Ciclon.
Mm-hmm.
So really it's only Riot that's surprised.
Alright.
Not that she cares.
Yeah, she might in a second here.
She's not really surprised thing. She's just like, oh, guys.
Eh.
Replace
Surprised with disinterested.
Marching through the woods and keeping to the branches and things. Now, to be clear, there are pools of water and marshland here. It doesn't count as difficult terrain, but you have not experimented with it yet. Nobody's actually traveled through the marsh. But it doesn't look deep enough that it would slow you down just by looking at it. The three of you who are not surprised, Ciclon, Serenity, and Mahogany, you suddenly hear cries from the trees above you, surrounding you, as you four are making your way through the marsh. And the split second before the cries go out, you all spot movement in the trees. Riot, you're too preoccupied with trying to come to grips with not knowing what direction you're going, and should I tell the guys, or does it matter? Maybe not. So, Ciclon, what you see, looking up in the trees, at least 3 of these creatures. And it looks like they're about to attack you, but you're not sure with what. Do you have dark vision?
No.
You do not. Okay, so yeah, it's difficult to tell. To you, it just looks like a strange shape.
Just motion, just movement around in the trees.
Just movement. So you notice their position, but you don't see what they're doing. You've got to make a decision on what to do before anybody else gets any more information than that.
Activate celerity.
Okay. And just remind me what that does.
While I'm concentrating, I have advantage on initiative checks. I didn't have it active. I didn't have it active because I didn't call it out for it. So.
But that enables you to do other stuff.
I did roll
though.
the nat 20. So, what's that?
That enables you to do other stuff, though, right?
Yeah, I can burn a to get a surge of speed.
Okay, gotcha. And as soon as you trigger that, this creature that you're focused on throws a net at you.
Okay.
These creatures are not far away from you. They're up in the trees above you. They were hidden in the shadow and the leaves and the branches, but they were all within 15 feet. You have an AC, right?
Yeah.
How does it?
15.
Oh. So this thing throws a net at you, but with your new psionic movement, you manage to deftly get out of the way, and you hear this weighted net splash into the ground right next to you. Serenity, do you have dark vision?
No.
No. Okay.
Can I have free action on your guard, everyone?
No, but you can free action interrupt me, apparently. Go flush yourself down the toilet.
Okay.
Serenity, so you see the shapes. You saw the shapes before the cry went out, and then you saw a net come flying out of the trees and very narrowly miss Ciclon. And you're up.
I'll pull out a javelin and send it back
At the one that just attacked
towards
Ciclon?
the shape. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this a disadvantage from darkness, or I'm not sure how that works in 5e? Is that a penalty?
No, because you're in dim light, not darkness.
Okay. That'll hit an armor class of... Where's that one? I'm still used to this new sheet. There we go. That'll hit an armor class of 20.
That's good. You're good.
Hit that armor class.
Roll the damage.
For 9 damage.
And quickly whip this javelin into the trees where you saw this net come flying from. And you hear the thing cry out when the javelin connects, pierces it. Wait a split second, but you don't hear a splash or a thud. Mahogany.
I'll draw my wall and move to the front of the group between them and the rest. Between these shapes and them.
Oh, the shapes are surrounding you. You notice
okay.
at least 3. The one that attacked Ciclon was in front of you, but you also notice shapes behind you. So
Okay.
there's no
Then
getting
I'll
in
just
between.
move to the edge of the group.
Are they still in the trees?
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to transform into a brown bear.
Before you do that, because your passive perception is 15, you notice 4 shapes. You notice one that they did not.
Okay.
And do you have dark vision?
No.
No, okay.
And I won't as a brown bear either, if I can transform into one, which I'm not sure of yet, because we're on a new plane.
Brown bear, is that a large creature?
It is large.
Being a large creature, you're not going to be able to continue walking on tree roots. You will have to splash down into the marsh.
I'm planning on climbing a tree. Because I have a climb speed of 30.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to climb up there and maul the shit out of them in the trees.
So which one?
Let's say they pointed some out. I'm going to go for the one that they didn't notice.
Okay, that one would be behind you.
Okay, sounds good.
Climb speed of 30. Yeah, we'll get you up there. The tree
Right, and I'm just going to do... Okay, go ahead.
it bends and groans under your weight. These are more like mangrove trees than mighty oaks.
Mm-hmm.
And getting up there, getting close, the creature looks like a humanoid fish and smells like a humanoid fish. Smells very appetizing to your new nose. And you see in one hand he's holding a bunched up net, and then he has a spear in his other. And he looks very shocked that you're climbing up after him with such speed.
How high are we?
How high are you? Maybe 10 feet
Yeah.
up off the ground.
Okay, so that won't kill anyone. Alright, I'm going to attempt to do a multi-attack. I'm going to do this non-lethally, and my hope here is that if I manage to knock him out, I want to knock him down to the party so that they see what we're dealing with here.
So you want to try to bat him out of the tree non-lethally. All right, make your attack roll.
Alright, that's 1. I'll just roll for both, just so I know what they're at. Alright, that's the second one. How does AC do?
How much?
11 for the second one.
11 does not hit. What was the first one?
The first one I rolled a 19, so it was 24.
Okay. Yeah, 24 hits.
It was some really high number.
The 11 does not.
Yeah. Alright, so the first one is bite. So that is 1d8. Got it. Wow. 5 damage. Piercing,
5
if it matters.
damage. And you were trying to do this non-lethally, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So, you reach in and nip at this thing's arm. The arm holding the spear. And you try to bat it out of the tree, hopefully, hoping to throw it down at the party so they can see what they're dealing with. But though your bite hits home and you taste the delicious flesh in your mouth, the thing manages to keep its footing.
I'm a bear.
Yeah, exactly. It's got these webbed toes that curl all the way around the thin branches of this tree. Now I want you to make me a either strength or dexterity saving throw. You can pick which one you want.
Alright, well, it looks like I have training in strength. So do that. Alright, that's 11 plus... No, just 11.
Okay. And being up in this tree, the weight of it is... The weight of your body is kind of overwhelming it. But you manage to get good hold of a sturdier part of the tree and not fall to the ground.
That's plus.
That is a plus. Riot, you are flat-footed. You are totally surprised at what has transpired the past few seconds. Mahogany, up in the tree, this thing spins around with its spear, comes in at you.
My AC at the moment is 11.
He hits 19.
Yeah, that'll hit 11.
Take 4 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then... that'll hit a 13 for an additional 5 piercing damage.
Alright.
This thing whips back with its spear and comes in at your gut. And it doesn't pierce all the way into your body. It feels like he doesn't have a lot of strength behind these spindly, uncharacteristic arms on a fish. But it pierces you, and the blood leaks out. And then he snaps forward at your neck with his sharp teeth and bites you back. No telling whether or not he thought you were as delicious as you thought he was, though.
I was just about to ask.
Well, I'm a bear, so I got that thick layer of fat, so it's probably pretty okay.
Riot.
Unless he likes lean.
You also have an AC.
13.
13. You're suddenly restrained as this net comes flying out of the tree. It has weighted balls around the edge of it, and the way it's spinning drags you to the ground, and you're tangled up in it. You can use your next action to try to break free of it, if you like, by either making a strength check, or you can attempt to attack it with a slashing weapon to try to cut your way free.
Okay.
And as you do this, you see the shape of this fishman peeking out from the canopy of trees, and you see him holding this spear menacingly, preparing to throw it. Serenity. Your AC is 14, yes?
14.
Same deal. This net comes out of the trees. Not from the one you threw the javelin at, from a one that would be off to your right and very slightly behind you. But again, you're restrained, so you can either break free next round. And looking up, you see the fish poking his head out with his spear, preparing to throw it. That brings us back to El Ciclon.
I want to identify the shape that threw the net at me originally. I'm gonna go up into the trees. I'm up there, kind of, and go at him.
So you're going to climb up the tree after him?
Yeah.
Okay. Make me a strength athletics to get up the tree in any reasonable amount of time.
13.
Okay. So yeah, you shimmy your way up the tree, find enough footholds, and you can go ahead and attack this fish man. You see Serenity's javelin poking out from between the scales in its belly.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's kind of awkward. I really can't full friggin' like super wrestling man up here in this precarious bounds. But
grab him and suplex him to the ground and just eat the falling damage. Do it or you're not a man.
I like it. I like the idea, but not with this 3 that I rolled on die.
Okay, so your attack missed?
Yeah, my attack missed. I rolled 7.
Is that the only attack you're doing?
Yeah. Bonus action, second attack.
I would if I were you.
Yeah, totally.
That one will
better.
hit.
How does the 23 sound?
23 sounds good. And you're attacking just with your fists?
Yep. 4 damage.
4 damage. So you try to aim a couple good blows to this thing. Once with your foot, because you're using one arm to hold yourself to the tree. Once with your foot, aiming at the area in its belly where the javelin is sticking, thinking maybe you could do some more damage. But the awkwardness of the direction and the angle of the kick, you miss widely. The second attack connects. You just bring your fist up across its face and deal the damage. But when your foot connects with this thing's lower belly, it doesn't come free. Something like this coating of mucus over its scales very suddenly covers your boot. Are you wearing boots? luchador boots.
Yeah.
And now your foot is stuck there. Now you're very awkwardly and very kind of narrowly attached to this tree still. What this means is you can either... I'll give you two options. You can either use your action to unlace the boot, or you can just try to pull away from it using your action to do that. Or you can just ignore the fact that you're stuck to this horrible fish person and continue pummeling him.
That's fun.
I like that up.
It's his turn, and he wants to stab you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Not really, but I guess I can have to give him the chance.
A 17 will hit.
Yep, it will.
We'll start with the spear. 7 points of piercing damage.
Good night.
And the bite does not connect. So, as you're kind of struggling to get your foot free without losing grip on the tree with your other arm, this thing definitely gets its spear and aims it at your leg, where he's got a clear shot, and spear bites in through your pants and into your flesh. Then he reaches in to go for the bite, but you manage to squirrel out of his way. To Serenity.
Yell out in pain.
I would if I were you. That's a free action.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the check to break out of this net?
It's a strength check.
Okay. And that's my action, right?
Yes.
That would be a strength check of something not very good. Side of the sheet. 7.
7. You start pulling the net apart, trying to break your way out of it, and parts of it snap, but at the end of the round, you're still tangled.
Okay. That's all she can do.
Mahogany.
Alright, well, I mean, I'm still up here with this horrible creature.
Yes.
So I'm thinking the second verse same as the first. Just trying to knock this guy over. I have a question about shove.
Shove? Okay.
Since my attack is 2 attacks, if I want to shove, can I shove with the second attack?
I will allow you to shove with your claw attack. You're essentially will replace your claw attack with a shove. Because the way it works with multi-attack is you can replace any... Not multi-attack, I'm sorry, extra attack. Is you can replace any extra attack with, like, a shove instead. Or a grapple.
Alright, sounds good to me. I'm gonna bite and then shove.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense to bite with a shove, so...
Yeah, that'd be like a headbutt.
Well, now that you say it, I'll allow you to turn your bite into a headbutt if you want. Because that sounds kind of rad.
That's
now.
12.
12, not good enough.
Alright, now for the shove.
Roll better, nerd. I said better.
That flew into the dice. I didn't even roll it.
Well, it landed next to the little tub.
I'll allow that to be my roll just because it was so poor. But I wasn't intending to roll it there.
It's just really, really awkward to be fighting in this position. These trees are not as strong as you first thought. You probably overestimated or underestimated their strength because you're used to trees in like the upper plains or the outlands in your deity's realm, and these are kind of the sickly trees of the Grey Waste. You're not in any danger of it snapping under your weight or of falling, but combat is just very awkward for you this round.
It's tough.
Little Miss Riot.
I'm not stuck to anything though, so.
No, you're not stuck to anything.
Riot's gonna, she's gonna sneer at the fisherman that poked his head out that she can see.
Mm-hmm.
And use a vicious mockery.
Okay.
Insult is so. Which are you? Fish out of water or fish in a barrel?
Let me just double check that that's going to work on the Grey Wastes.
Oh shit! Advantage for being sick turns.
I don't see why it wouldn't, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, here on the Grey Waste, if a wizard would try to cast Color Spray, it would become just Grey Spray.
I'm pretty sure that you should get advantage for being on the Grey Waste for trying to make someone feel like crap.
Okay, so he gets to make a saving throw against Vicious Mockery, yes?
Wisdom, yeah, wisdom.
Wisdom saving throw. Which he fails. 11, I'm sure, comes in under your spell save.
Yeah, my DC is 14.
Alright, so your insult was what?
So which are you, a fish out of water or a fish in a barrel?
Yeah, roll the damage on that.
And cool, 4 damage.
And that was the one that snared you, yes?
Yeah, and now he's got disadvantage on his next attack. I like Vicious Mockery because when I'm restrained or otherwise have disadvantage on my attack rolls, it means I don't have to make an attack roll.
I'm sorry, what was that? Vicious Mockery?
Fish.
Wow.
As soon as you speak the words, before you even get to the barrel part of your insult, which sounds ridiculous coming out, he's obviously not in a barrel. That doesn't make any sense. Where did that even come from? Stupid, stupid, stupid. But looking at it, you see his head racked with pain to the point where he almost opens his hands and drops his spear. Look to your eyes that spell was incredibly effective. That's going to bring us to... Oh, the one that you just racked his brain. So he has disadvantage on his next save, or his next attack roll, yes? He slides down the tree and comes at you with his spear, still shake. That was a shitty roll, even without the disadvantage.
I made him feel really bad.
You did. And he takes his spear and kind of sluggishly aims at you, but you still see his weird fish eyes wincing in pain. The spear just goes wide. Doesn't connect at all.
Weird fish eyes.
So the next one would be the one that Mahogany's engaged with, number 3.
Yeah.
He disengages from you, slides down the tree with his spear, and is moving in towards the your two snared comrades. So he doesn't attack you, but you don't get to attack him either.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the one up in the tree with Ciclon. No, that's the one at the top of the order. Which one was this? This was the one that threw a net at Serenity.
Serenity, right?
And because the one who didn't throw a net is the one that Mahogany tried to eat. Okay, I'm back on track here. So yeah, he slides down the tree. It comes into the two netted folks. Comes in towards Serenity. That's a shitty roll, even with advantage. No, it does not hit. So, Serenity, this creature, slides down out of the tree, comes at you with its spear, but only gets a glancing blow. Doesn't even draw blood.
Okay.
Brings us back to Ciclon.
Okay, so this one that my leg is stuck to.
Yes.
He's about to have a very bad day. We're coming out of the tree.
How is this happening?
We are both leaving the tree. We are both leaving the tree.
He says very
Is this a
matter-of-factly.
meteoric match?
Yes.
You gotta roll first, man.
I know. Alright, do I get any kind of advantage because I'm tapped to him because of goopy fish?
No,
Fish goop? Okay.
you do not.
Alright then.
There you
17
go.
plus 4 is 21.
We'll hit.
There's your advantage.
Alright, I will move him into a place where he's going to wily cutty with my grapple.
Oh, you were grappling him? I thought you were attacking him.
Yeah.
Let me make an
Yeah.
opposed check here. Nope, rolled badly. So yeah, you grapple him, and so you're moving, just letting go of the tree and falling to the ground?
Yeah.
How is this tumble supposed to happen? What is your hope upon landing?
I'm going to I'm intending to land on top of him.
Intending to land on top of him. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll a d10.
Four.
4. So you manage to... I mean, you land with... The tree you're on grows out of the tree you were standing on, where you were traveling when you were ambushed. And you land in such a way that this thing's back hits that root, and you land on top of him, and you hear the snap of his spine. And then kind of a sickly splat noise as his tissues and muscles break under your weight. And this thing is dead, dead, dead. And you suffer no damage.
I'll look up at the others.
And as soon as that happens, the mucousy film covering your boot thins out, and you manage with a little bit of work to wrench it free without using the action. Guys, I have to take an uncharacteristic second break 2 hours into this game because I drank a hot apple cider and now I have to urinate. Let's do this net thrower's turn first, though. Mr. Number... Oh, he can't. He's dead. So that...
Yeah.
Lol.
Very simple here.
All right, that was a quick turn.
Yeah, that was easy enough.
Best turn.
So we'll delete him, and then we'll... As soon as I am done, we'll come back and do Serenity's turn.